State of New California. Notice to all Californians. Chapter 2, Grievance 11, July 7th, 2020. New California is a new state in development, exercising its constitutional right to form from the state of California. The process to form New California is authorized and codified in Article 4, Sections 3 and 4 of the United States Constitution. Statement of intent. The citizens of New California have decided to remedy the abuse of power by the government of California by exercising their right to form a new state, provided in the United States Constitution, Articles 4, Sections 3 and 4. Quote, "We are determined to live under a state government in the United States of America and under the Constitution of the United States," end quote. New California Declaration of Independence of January 15, 2018 states, quote, "Whenever any form of government becomes destructive, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government. When a long train of abuses and acts to seize and hold the people's power without legal authority, and pursuing invariably the same object that clearly demonstrates a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security," end quote. Preamble of the New California State Constitution states, "We, the representatives of the undersigned counties within the state of California, do acknowledge and humbly invoke the favor of Almighty God for continued civil and religious liberties to ourselves and our posterity." First Amendment of the United States Constitution states, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances," end quote. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution states, "The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrant shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized." The counties of New California State brought forward 95 Chapter 1 grievances between January 2018 and November 2019. On April 28, 2020, New California State will issue 95 additional Chapter 2 grievances to be announced in public on Tuesdays at 11 a.m. Chapter 2, Grievance 11. Declaration of Grievance, Statement of Facts. The people of California are suffering from a tyrannical state government which fails to provide a Republican form of governance, enables and supports across its southern border the invasion of the United States of America by illegal foreign nationals, and protects vicious criminals who commit outrageous acts of violence upon the citizens of America, all caused by a government of and for a mono-party system led by a tyrannical dictator who openly defies federal law. California state government is in direct violation of the following. United States Constitution, Article 4, Section 4. Quote, "The United States shall guarantee to every state in this union a republican form of government, and shall protect each of them against invasion, and on application of the legislature, or of the executive when the legislature cannot be convened, against domestic violence," end quote. United States Constitution, Article 6. "This Constitution and the laws of the United States, which shall be made in pursuance thereof, and all treaties made, or which shall be made, under the authority of the United States, shall be the supreme law of the land, and the judges in every state shall be bound thereby, anything in the Constitution or laws of any state to the contrary notwithstanding." First Amendment of the United States Constitution, quote, "Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people to peaceably assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances," end quote. The Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution. The right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, papers, and effects against unreasonable searches and seizures shall not be violated, and no warrants shall issue but upon probable cause, supported by oath or affirmation, and particularly describing the place to be searched and the persons or things to be seized. Order of the day. The dictator claims his dominion. California governor claims, quote, dominion, unquote, over U.S. citizens living and doing business in California state. The governor of California issued an executive order declaring there would be no singing or chanting in churches in the state, no 4th of July parties or fireworks, and the state's beaches closed. He ordered the closures of restaurants, wineries, tasting rooms, movie theaters, family entertainment centers, zoos, museums, card rooms, and bars in 19 counties. The governor exempted Napa County, where he owns the Plump Jack Winery. Plump Jack Winery was financed in part by Gordon Getty and Nancy Pelosi. The governor's order stated, quote, in particular, activities such as singing and chanting negate the risk of risk reduction achieved through 6 feet of physical distancing. Places of worship must therefore discontinue singing and chanting activities and limit indoor attendance to 25% of building capacity or a maximum of 100 attendees, whichever is lower, end quote. Quote, even with adherence to physical distancing, convening in a congregational setting of multiple different households to practice a personal faith carries a relatively higher risk for widespread transmission of the COVID-19 virus and may result in increased rates of infection, hospitalization, and death, especially among more vulnerable populations, end quote. To further his dictatorial reign of terror, the governor formed, quote, multi-agency strike teams, end quote, to punish, quote, people who are thumbing their noses, end quote, at restrictions. He then threatened counties with a loss of state funds the governor does not have, if they failed to follow his dictate. Since March 4, 2020, the governor has usurped all power from the state legislature through using California's state of emergency rules due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The governor was the first governor in the United States to declare a state of emergency, giving him complete control over the legislature. Since then, the California dictator has issued 40 executive orders, unilaterally changing over 200 laws covering most sections of the California state law. What the California governor has effectively achieved is the destruction of the little federal state government model of governance, which requires that there be 3 branches of government that are co-equal in power. The little federal model, based upon the federal model, the U.S. government, which requires 3 co-equal branches of government, the legislature, the judiciary, and the executive. Today, California enjoys the status of having only 2 branches of government, a feckless judiciary and a dictatorship as an executive branch. The legislature is all but destroyed and powerless to stop the executive branch. The March 4, 2020 usurpation of the legislative power by his declared state of emergency will continue indefinitely, since there are no time limits on the governor's emergency order. Those time limits were removed by the legislature in 2015. When the Founding Fathers came together to write the Constitution, they knew that the people, with their God-given rights, were responsible for the government, and they were very concerned that the people could be compromised by a government in which one of the branches would be more powerful than any other, thus throwing the entire power balance of the 3 co-equal branches into a tailspin. The Founding Fathers knew that one branch weakened, there would be a collapse of the 3 branches altogether into a one-power system known as a dictatorship. The Founding Fathers dreaded a moment like this for the states and put into the Constitution methods to deal with a dictator, such as seen now in California. The Founders' answer was the making of a new state found in the, quote, New State Clause, unquote, of the U.S. Constitution, Article 4, Section 3. Article 4, Section 3 has only been utilized on 3 occasions in the formation of all the 50 states. The last time Article 4, Section 3 was utilized was at the start of the Civil War in 1861, with the formation of West Virginia. New California state the New California State movement has for over 5 years, has been utilizing Article 4, Section 3 to form a new state in direct defiance of a dictator just like the Founding Fathers had planned. The California governor is a pusillanimous, craven dictator whose words and actions are a grave danger to all U.S. citizens living in California. California is a failed state operating outside the authority of the U.S. Constitution, violating Articles 4, Section 4, Article 6, and the Fourth Amendment. For New Californians, it is our God-given right, it is our duty to protect our Declaration of Independence, our Constitution, and our Bill of Rights with all means necessary from a craven dictator. We request the President of the United States act immediately to remedy these abuses by the establishment of the New California State. Insurrection. The government of California, the current socialist governor, dictator, and monoparty system, along with local officials, are following a coordinated design with the intent to actively engage in acts of insurrection against the U.S. Constitution. The Insurrection Act of 1807 and the Emergency Economic Powers Act are United States federal laws that govern the ability of the President of the United States to deploy military troops within the United States to put down lawlessness, insurrection, and rebellion. Acts of secession. Therefore, the California government, in conjunction with the socialist state executive, instituted wherever the current socialist governor dictator has usurped power, has created a reign of terror on United States citizens living in California with the intent to secede from the United States of America and thus destroy the very union of states which secures our liberty and freedom. Abdication of authority. Betrayal by the sitting socialist governor dictator of California, the monoparty legislature, and local elected officials is evidence of abdication of their responsibilities of authority and sovereignty over the state and citizens of the United States living in California. Prayer. The citizens of New California State pray for the President to exercise his authority under the Insurrection Act of 1807 or the Emergency Economic Powers Act to end the tyranny being foisted upon the United States citizens living in California State. This concludes these proceedings. Website newcaliforniastate.com, phone number 877-828-2753.